All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. You are live and direct once again with your Akazaki Yahoo. I'm giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, Wamalak, the Messiah and King, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, wa baruchim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day when the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, all those who hate us under our feet. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. I'm joined this evening by my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shalom, my king.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. Call halal Yahweh. Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shah, Barakatham.
Yes, indeed. Our praises to Yahweh in the name of his beloved son, Yahweh Shah, the Messiah and King. Bless you. Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. So we are back again with another video review, and we're going to get right to it. We got two heavy hitters for you, back to back, two brothers that probably were not the best of friends, but definitely have a good message for the nation, for the people. And I'm not talking about the Islamic nation. I'm talking about the Israelite nation, because both of these brothers teach that we are the Israelites. So, or we're teaching. So, all right, let's get to it and get through it. We're gonna start off with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and we'll move on. We'll finish up with our dear brother Malcolm X Shabazz. So, here we go.
Louis Farrakhan spent
Salaki, my bad. These videos are brought to us both by our good brothers over at Black Journals. Shout out to those brothers for the great work that they do. And let's get back to the video. We'll back it up one time. Here we
go. Louis Farrakhan spent virtually his entire active life as a man, campaigning vehemently against Black oppression and segregation.
The black man must go free in the Delta, in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana.
You can't please these people. They said they ain't never gonna forget those who are silent. Damn it, we are never gonna forget those that sold our fathers into slavery. We'll never forget. Never. You said Farrakhan made mockery of the Holocaust. That's a lie. How could I be a human being and make mockery of human suffering? Do you think that I, as a member of a suffering people, rejoice to see women, children, and men burning in an oven? But don't push your 6 million down our throat when we lost 100 million in the Middle Passage.
They say there are 12 million undocumented aliens. They're frightened. Mexicans becoming politically active, economically strong. Now, take little Mexican babies that were born in America, send them back, deport them, send the mother back with them if the mother wants to go. If the mother was undocumented, the child was born in America. Well, you say, okay, what should we do? See, you want to punish the ones who come across the border, but I don't read where you're punishing the manufacturers that use cheap Mexican labor. I don't see you being hard on corporations that have fled the country and put manufacturing in the hands of cheap labor overseas. Millions of manufacturing jobs have been lost, over 7 million manufacturing jobs by ceding manufacturers to cheap labor markets overseas. That's traitorous to the country. See, you gotta call it like it is. Is money more valuable than the sovereignty of a nation? Because after 12 years, from 1865 to 1877, 12 years, white folks said, quote, if the Negroes leave the land, we don't have nobody to work the land, and that's how we get our money. So we had to find a way to put the blacks back on the land. Listen to this. It's called the Compromise of 1877. This compromise can easily be listed among the most significant events in Black American history. The country was in an uproar over the disputed election of 1876 involving presidential rivals Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel J. Tilden. But the root of the conflict was once again the fate of the black man.
Betrayal, oppression, and resilience were the bitter legacy of the Compromise of 1877. Louis Farrakhan's powerful voice echoes through the ages, condemning the systemic racism that has haunted Black America for centuries. From slavery to Jim Crow, the struggle for justice has been long and arduous.
Black people in America spend, it is reputed, this year, it will be a little over $204 billion, making you equal to the 14th richest country on earth in terms of its gross national product, which is the goods and services that they manufacture. You, Black America, will have more wealth in your hands than East Germany, than Poland, than Saudi Arabia, than many countries that are supporting armies, navies, schools, farms with their gross national product. You have $204 billion and yet are like Lazarus at the foot of the white man begging for the crumbs that fall from his table. Something is wrong. Hear me well. When the Jews came to America at the turn of the century, they were merchants in New York City on the streets selling their wares. It's true. Many of them saw you had need. You needed service, you needed goods. They provided goods and service. And your purchasing power filled the coffers of other people. They took the money out of your community and built communities for themselves. They nursed to economic strength from your purchasing power, building schools and hospitals, setting up agriculture, independent television and radio to call you nigger and talk about you like a dog from your own money.
And this was the man, Farrakhan, speaking before his followers at a sold-out Los Angeles forum on September 14th, 1985, undeterred by the U.S. Senate's condemnation just a year prior. The Senate's rebuke stemmed from Farrakhan's vocal support for Palestine. But did this silence him? How about when his account got banned?
Yes, yes, yes! This is just the beginning, banning me from a social platform. That's right. I use that platform with respect. That's right. I never allowed those who follow me to become vile as those who speak evil of us. That's right.
The condemnation and criticism did not deter him for a single day. Instead, they only fueled his determination to expose the deep-seated injustices faced by Black people and awaken them to the harsh realities of their existence.
Now, here's the rub. When white folks saw that we were the tradespeople, we knew it all. A Jewish man by the name of Samuel Gompers started the American Federation of Labor. And that union was founded not to give you a job, but to keep you from working. Then they opened the floodgates of immigrants from Europe. And the tradespeople from Europe began coming in, pushing you further and further out. So that today, you are not represented in none of the trades like you were. Listen to me. And in those days, a father would teach his son. But today, you grow up knowing nothing about carpentry, nothing about bricklaying, nothing about building. Hiram, you've been hit in the head by a master thief. You are the builder. You are the people of the builders of civilization. But many of the Jews were Shriners. George Washington was a Shriner. Many of your early presidents were Masonic people, Shriners. I know you joined the lodge. You might as well come this way. Because what they gave you, you ain't built a damn thing. I hate to talk like this. But hell, if I don't, who will? You don't know no black man that's bold enough to say this. Even if you think it, you won't say it. But I know God. And it is he whom I fear. The black man must go free.
Now, listen carefully. When Watts broke out, and Watts did break out, in the rebellion of 64, 65, and 66, the Jewish merchants left the black community. Then Arab merchants came in. Many of the Palestinians and other Arabs in the war-torn areas of the Middle East came to America to find relief. And they looked and saw, there you were, with a heavy breast full of milk. Your own baby is dying from neglect. So they came and you were good mammy. And now I have to say this, many of you, my Arab brothers and sisters, many of you are Muslims. You set up stores in my people's community and you sell them pork and wine and whiskey and mistreat them. I don't want you to think because I'm a Muslim that I'm not going to come after you in your foolishness in the black community. I don't want you to think that. I am your brother, but I am not going to let any man suck the blood of the black community and disrespect the black community and get away with it.
His Islamic faith served as a powerful catalyst, fueling his unwavering commitment to justice and equality. With unshakable conviction, he fearlessly stepped forward to champion the cause of the entire black race, transcending the boundaries of the Nation of Islam and embracing the struggles and aspirations of black people, irrespective of their diverse religious beliefs.
What you have to...
Man, that was a young Farrakhan at that time talking like that. I don't remember hearing that before. Talking about he's not gonna let them suck the blood out of the black community, even though that they Muslim like he is. Wow, I don't remember seeing that before ever.
Khan, this was I want to say back in the early '80s. It might have been like when the nation was coming back, and he had a lot of fire when because the nation had disbanded, and he kind of brought it back together. The nation of I say nation because we're not talking about Yasharal, but I mean they are Yasharal, but you know they're the Nation of Islam, but that's what I was referring to.
Right. Indeed. Yeah, I'm saying this is the first time I've ever heard him talking like that. Like that's like wow, to say that those words, even though we're both Muslim, you're not gonna suck the blood out of the black community. That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, that like I said, that was a young Farrakhan speaking at that time. He so youthful at that time. If you thinking that's the 80s though, we talking about he would have been say if it was even
50, he would have been in his 50s. Well, about 50, you know, let's say 1980, you know, that's what 45 years ago now.
Yeah, but he looked 20 on this. I mean, he looked 30 on this video though. You don't look 50. You know,
you might. Yeah, I could be wrong. It could be back in the 70s. But here's the thing: I don't think the Nation of Islam was together back in the 70s. I think after the leader passed away, I think they disbanded after a while.
Oh, okay. That could be the case. I'm not for sure. I just never heard this one before. In all the reviewing we've done with Farrakhan, and some of his great speeches and conversations, I've never heard him talk like that before. I've never heard of the Muslim community from those lines. From that standpoint, like that's a big deal to say those words. You may be Muslim, but you're not going to suck the blood of the black community. Like that's a big deal. That's not lightweight stuff. That's like, hold up. You know, he's drawing a bound. You know what I'm saying? We're not crossing this bound right here. Yeah, we Muslim. They all Muslim. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we Muslim. I'm not saying that. We know what Louis Farrakhan represent. But man, looked like he was representing the black community for real.
Indeed.
For real. So, all right, let's continue. I just wanted to hit on that point real quick.
To do, instead of cussing out Arabs and Jews and others who are in your community, you have to make up your mind that you will provide yourself with the goods and services that you need so you can grow to strength from your own natural resource. Do you agree with that? Are you in agreement with that? Okay, all of us from all these different persuasions. Now look, I know that some of you disagree with me. That's fine, beautiful. Some of you say, well, I'm a Muslim, he's a Christian, or he's a Christian, I'm a Muslim, and I don't care to join nobody's religion. We're not asking you to join or change your religion. But what we are saying is this: we've got to unite on the least common denominator. And the least common denominator is we are all the same family and we all have the same need. So let us not see Muslim and Christian or NAACP and Urban League. Let's see the common need and let's go together and work to solve the problem. Now, how do we do this?
Rather than simply dwelling on past injustices, His words serve as a call to action, empowering Black people to reclaim their destiny and forge a brighter future.
We propose that we use the blessing that we have received from our sojourn in America to do for ourselves what we've been asking the whites of this nation to do for us. $204 billion is a lot of money. Hollywood, I want to talk to you, Mr. Wood. Every nation on earth is fighting to get back its natural resources. What is Black South Africa fighting for? You think they're just fighting for the right to vote? They want back the value of what's under their foot. The gold, the diamond, the uranium, the cobalt, the titanium, all that which America needs to be fit in the 21st century is in South Africa. This is why she don't want to give up that plum. This is why she's trying to prop up Volta, but it's too late. It's too late. Well, if all the countries of the earth are trying to fight for their natural resources, what do Black people have? We have no oil, no gold, no coal, no diamonds. We don't have any earth. But you know what we got? We got a wealth of talent, creative genius, that we don't control even that. Here's Hollywood, all our Black artists. They're in control by somebody else. They write the script, you play the part. If they want you to play a prostitute, even if you don't want to play a prostitute, you just want to work, here you go whoring again. So you play whore. Now listen to me. For the money, you do degrading parts for the money, and when you write good scripts that show Black people in positions of strength and value that would inspire a nation, there is no one who will back that kind of property so that we could see that on the screen or that on the stage.
Farrakhan's vision is one of self-empowerment and collective uplift, encouraging African Americans to take control of their own lives and communities.
But if we got control of that Black talent again, we would dress up our women. I love Tina Turner, but I'd be damned if I would allow Tina to let Mick Jagger rip off her dress before the whole world. There'll come a time when we will grab Mick Jagger and break his damn neck. Tell him, oh yeah, brother. There'll come a time when we'll take a stick and spank Tina Turner's backside and tell her, you don't play no whore in front of our people. We're sick of that foolishness. We're sick of you all making whores out of our women and damn of our men, that all our men can do is get in some damn room and grunt, and all our women can do is spread their legs for some beast to give them all kind of disease. We're tired of that foolishness.
Oh, my goodness.
Since emancipation, the North had placed troops in the South to keep the whites from putting the freed Blacks back into plantation slavery. But after 13 years of this so-called Reconstruction, whites all over the country, North and South, had grown tired and angry over fighting each other over the rights with their ex-slaves. Both parties, Republican and Democrat, convened at the Wormley Hotel in Washington, D.C. to attempt to resolve the conflict. And on February 26th, 1877, a deal was struck that would profoundly affect the course of history for black people in America. All agreed that the country's need for cotton required that blacks be returned to virtual slavery and assigned to permanent political, social, and economic inferiority.
Louis Farrakhan's approach involves highlighting the vulnerabilities of the black community with the ultimate goal of breaking free from the shackles of inferiority complex that has been perpetuated by white oppression for centuries. With intense rage, the minister even highlights the exploitation of young black talent in industries like sports, Hollywood, and music. He argues that these individuals are coerced into contracts that ultimately benefit their white handlers, who reap most of the financial rewards, while the black talent is left with meager compensation.
We got to get control of our own wealth. People fight for their natural resources. I am saying that we must go to war for what is ours. You belong to us, damn it, and we're coming to get you. Did you hear what I say? You belong to us, and we are coming to get you. And we are not going to let no promoter, no agent stand in the way of our getting you back for your own people, for their freedom, for their justice, and for your own salvation. You will not be a purveyor of filth. For our young babies to hear you groaning and grunting on the radio all day long. Now, you may not like it, but deep down in your heart, you know I'm right. You know I'm right.
He stresses this point fervently, driven by a profound desire to liberate the countless talented black individuals who have been exploited for far too long, their potential hijacked by a system that perpetuates a modern form of mental and economic enslavement.
You got a God-given talent, and you're using it in a corrupt way. For what? Money? What is at the end of it? You got money, and now they come to you. The minute you got money, they come with the white lady. What is the white lady? What is the white lady? Isn't that what they call coke? Most of you Hollywood people are so damn coked up. All the money you make, you throw it away, you blow it up, you smoke it up, you throw it out, and you want people to respect you as an equal with nothing but a talent and a coke habit and a freak on top of it? No. Now listen, you may not like this, beloved, but I love you. I will go into hell with a gasoline jacket on to get you, because I know your power potential, but you will never realize it, coked up, reefered up, heroined up, peeled up, because you are too cowardly to face the reality of what life is. Life is real, and it can never be changed with dope. It can only be changed with organized effort.
There isn't an area on black struggles that Farrakhan hasn't already broached. His messages resonates with many who feel that black people are being taken advantage of by a system designed to maintain white power and control. He emphasizes that this exploitation is not limited to the entertainment industry, but is a symptom of a broader societal issue.
What is that, brother? $100 million with somebody else making billions from your people's talent? You don't control nothing but the talent, not the production, not the distribution, nothing. You are a slave. In 1985, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
You're right, 1985.
Farrakhan would often reference the historical context of slavery
What
and
year did he
colonialism
say?
in his speeches, drawing parallels between the past and present. He asserts that the same systems of oppression, which enslaved and marginalized Black people centuries ago, continue to operate today, albeit in more subtle forms.
They don't care 2 cents about us, brothers and sisters. So what we propose is, since we all need certain things, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant, liquid soap, liquid detergent. Our sisters need sanitary napkins. We need toilet paper. Now, brothers and sisters, we believe we can produce all these things for ourselves as a start. Look, we got to fight to get back $204 billion, keep it rotating at least 3 times in our community before it goes. If we can keep it going 3 times in our community, I guarantee you our children will have a future. We've got to provide that future for them, and it starts by the proper use of our money.
His message empowers Black people to reclaim their lives, destinies, and economic futures. By supporting Black-owned businesses and investing in their communities, he believes that Blacks can break free from systemic oppression and build a brighter future. That brings us to the end of yet another edifying piece. Don't forget to like video as a way of offering support.
Man, what a prolific speaker. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You know, and I know he's a Muslim. We're Israelites. I get that. I'm 100% agree. But the brother speaks Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's fluent in Negro. And man, his insight, his ideologies, all of that, you know, that's like, wow. If that would have, if our people would have grasped hold of that and made something into it, you talking about a dollar bill bouncing 3 times in the community before it leaves? That don't even happen. They say our money stay in the community, what, 6 seconds?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's horrible. It's absolutely egregious. And we wonder why we have no economic power, why we have none of these things. Now, one thing he said I wanted to call into question, not question, but you know what I'm saying, I didn't agree with. He said we had a greater economy than Saudi Arabia. I don't know about that. I don't know. Now, I know back then they probably wasn't doing a lot of importing, but today they importing every doggone thing. I mean, they got boxing, all kind of entertainment coming in there. Well, before you couldn't come in there with a camera. Now they bring your camera. They don't care. They come see the show because they put
Right.
over there, and that's some next level stuff because that's never been the case there. They've always operated in secrecy. But man, I got to shout out the elder for you know what I'm saying that about the. He's like, you may be Muslim. Some of you may be Muslim, and we Muslim too, but you are not gonna suck the blood of the Black community. I was like, what? 1985, Louis Farrakhan was not playing them games. Man, I can't believe he's 91 or plus, or whatever the case, 91 years old, because I can't believe they let him live that long, honestly. That's dope. That's dope for real. For him to say that, real deal. So I'm gonna rest there. Go ahead, Akeem.
Indeed, in all reality, he's 91 now, or in his early 90s, but he still has, the last few times that I've seen him speak, he appears to still have that fire and that love for his people. I don't know. Well, they say Mashiach went to Sheol to grab the patriarchs.
Right.
Honorable Farrakhan says that he will go to hell, the gates of hell for his people. I don't know. I can't say that I love my people out, but that's commitment. That's commitment.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, but the brother always, the elder always knew how to respond to a question. He, I was getting ready to say that he understands the direction that our people need to go, and that would be inaccurate. He loves his people. He knows that he's tired of seeing his people want a seat at others' table.
Mm-hmm.
However, well, it's not about division, but there's one thing that's keeping all of us from our power, and that is us clinging to those commandments. You know what I mean? So whether our people are in the Christian church or Islam, or you got witches out here now, we all need to turn from those ways and come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. And here's the thing, I believe that the Honorable Farrakhan is aware that we are the people. Yeah. I'm not sure what the explanation or what the ideology is regarding the seventh day. But he loves his people nonetheless. All praises to the Most High.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I agree. I think he definitely shows some next level for his people. I mean, to say I walk in the hell with a gasoline shirt on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I would do what I got to do for you, because you my people, and we cut from the same DNA tree, and that's dope. All right, we're gonna bring up the main event for you. We got our dear brother Malcom X Shabazz, and we're gonna go ahead and get to it and get through it. Once again, these videos are brought to us by our good brothers over at Black Journals. Links are in the description box. Feel free to check out their platform, and shout out to those brothers for the great work that they do putting together these videos and this wonderful commentary, allowing us to review and glean the information from it. And praises to the Most High, most of all, for giving these brothers you rocking with right now, and the elders that we're reviewing, the ability to do the work that we do, all of us working together seamlessly to bring you these videos. All praises to the Most High for that. This one is in the enduring thunder of Malcom X. His message still echoes. So there's going to be some good stuff here. Let's get to it. Here we go.
We declare our rank on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
In the scorching hotbed of racial tension that was 1960s America, one man stood tall, unwavering in the pursuit of equality and justice, Malcolm X.
One of the first things that the independent African nations did was to form an organization called the Organization of African Unity. The purpose of our organization of Afro-American Unity, which has the same aim and objective, to fight whoever gets in our way. To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere, and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary.
6 decades have passed since Malcolm X's powerful voice was silenced, but the reverberations of his message and the meanings they uphold continue to shake the foundations of systemic oppression.
Malcolm, to me, is the closest thing to a God walking the earth, if you can understand. Malcolm redeemed the racial integrity of African Americans. Malcolm gave us our human beingness back.
But the most important thing that Malcolm did is that he made us eradicate the fear that we walked in. In order to enslave a people the way America enslaved us, they had to keep us afraid.
Malcolm taught us. He said he ain't nothing but a white man. He ain't no tree, he ain't no mountain. He's just a white man. And if cut, he bleeds just like you. If he farts, he stinks just like you. But he has made an artificial world in which you will bow down to him. He said that day is over.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
But there's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
In America, they called it segregation, but what it was legal apartheid. Blacks in America were not allowed to shop in the same stores with white Americans. We could not eat in the same restaurants. We could not sit in the same bus terminals or the same air terminals. If an African American was walking down the sidewalk and a white American was coming down the sidewalk, the African American would have to step off into the gutter to let the white American go by. That was the protocol. That's ridiculous, that's sick, but that was America.
But Malcolm changed it all, brought a new sensation into light. Malcolm was untouched. He was a man in tune with consciousness, thus had rationalized policies. His every move, thinking, ways were intentional.
In America, they called it segregation, but what it was legal apartheid. Blacks in America were not allowed to shop in the same stores with white Americans. We could not eat in the same restaurants. We could not sit in the same bus terminals or the same air terminals. If an African American was walking down the sidewalk and a white American was coming down the sidewalk, the African American would have to step off into the gutter to let the white American go by. That was the protocol. That's ridiculous, that's sick, but that was America.
My grandfather was threatened by the Black Legion, who was a white racist organization. He was hung, he broke the branch. They put him on the train tracks, they cut him in half, severed him, not completely. He wasn't dead, so they shot him. When my grandmother tried to claim the insurance, they wouldn't give it to her because they said he committed suicide and she had to prove he was murdered, which was not going to happen to white men in the 1930s in Michigan. She had a nervous breakdown. The state institutionalized her and separated the younger kids, one being my father.
Early in life, Malcolm is a rebel and soon a delinquent. A drug user and burglar, he is sentenced to 8 years in prison for breaking and entering.
Malcolm's life as a criminal was formed from the cruel institutions of his surroundings. But Malcolm's life as a religious man, civil rights activist, preacher, and a force of liberation was formed by the determination of his soul.
Mr. Muhammad taught that most of the Bible was prophecy, not history. It was things that prophets saw were going to happen. And Malcolm accepted that concept of religion he saw himself prophetically as Paul. He saw Mr. Muhammad as Jesus. And because of this, he acted with a strength, a force, and a surety that an ordinary person could not use.
The purpose of our organization is to start right here in Harlem, which has the largest concentration of people of African descent that exists anywhere on this earth. There are more Africans here in Harlem than exist in any city on the African continent, because that's what you and I are, Africans.
Malcolm traveled the country preaching his gospel and also preaching Black unity and economic liberation.
They say that the most powerful bloc in the UN are the African Asian bloc. These are the poor nations, yet they carry more weight in this political body than the nations do who have all the money. Why? Because no matter how wealthy America is, she only has one vote. You and I have to look at this and understand this, that the ballot is as powerful as the bullet. At least they're both important. And if you don't use the ballot, you're going to have to use the bullet.
And this is where he stayed. Malcolm, when it came to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and very seldom would he even use the name without using the title, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So he was really dedicated to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he was really dedicated to making as much progress as possible and
to uplift the African Americans.
Bringing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad forward to the American public.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son called Malcolm the perfect follower.
That's correct.
The perfect follower.
That is correct.
Malcolm could hardly make a sentence without making reference to the name Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This goes a great deal to reveal how strongly bonded he was with his once-upon-a-time leader. This was why his findings concerning a man he looked up to as a messiah got his trusting heart undoubtedly broken. It must have been an unhealing pain.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that God now is about to establish a kingdom on this earth based upon brotherhood and peace. And the white man is against brotherhood, and the white man is against peace. His history on this earth has proved that. Nowhere in history has he been brotherly toward anyone. The only time he's brotherly toward you is when he can use you, when he can exploit you, when he can oppress you, when you will submit to him. And since his own history makes him unqualified to be an inhabitant or a citizen in a kingdom of brotherhood, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that God is about to eliminate that particular race from this earth.
His words, like thunder, still echo through the ages, awakening minds from mental poverty, stirring hearts from apathy, and inspiring generations to rise up against injustice.
The Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights are the principles in which we believe, and that these documents, if put into practice, represent the essence of mankind's hopes and good intentions, so that the welfare and well-being of our people will be assured. We are resolved to reinforce the common bond of purpose between our people by submerging all of our differences and establishing non-sectarian constructive programs for human rights. We hereby present this charter. Number one, the establishment. The Organization of Afro-American Unity shall include all people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere. In essence, what it is saying, instead of you and me running around here seeking allies in our struggle for freedom, in the Irish neighborhood or the Jewish neighborhood or the Italian neighborhood, we need to seek some allies among people who look something like we do. And once we get their allies.
This was at Audubon Ballroom, the year 1964. And Malcolm was at this point in his prime, submerged only in the aim for nothing other than Black liberation and empowerment.
It's time out for you and me to stop running away from the wolf, right into the arms of the fox, looking for some kind of help. That's a drag. Number two, self-defense. Since self-preservation is the first law of nature, we assert the Afro-Americans' right to self-defense. Constitution of the United States of America clearly affirms the right of every American citizen to bear arms. And as Americans, we will not give up a single right guaranteed under the Constitution. The history of unpunished violence against our people clearly indicates that we must be prepared to defend ourselves, or we will continue to be a defenseless people at the mercy of a ruthless and violent racist mob.
Born Malcolm Little, he rose from the ashes of a system designed to crush his spirit to become one of the most influential voices of the 20th century.
Mr. O'Connor.
What is your real name?
Malcolm X.
Is that your legal name?
As far as I'm concerned, it's my legal name.
Have you been to court to establish that
I didn't have to go to court to be called Murphy or Jones or Smith. Excuse me for answering you this way.
That's
if
all right.
A Chinese person were to say his name was Patrick Murphy, you would look at him like he's insane, because Murphy is an Irish name, a European name, or the name that has a Caucasian or white background. And a yellow person, Chinese is a yellow man, and he has nothing to do or no connection whatsoever with the name Murphy. And if it doesn't look proper for a person who is yellow or Chinese to be walking around named Murphy or Jones or Johnson or Bunch or Powell, I think it would be just as improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to walk around with these names. And therefore, he teaches us that during slavery, the same slave master who owned us put his last name on us to denote that we were his property. So that when you see a Negro today who's named Johnson, if you go back in his history, you'll find that he was once his grandfather or one of his forefathers was owned by a white man who was named Johnson.
Scrapping out the name Little from his first name and replacing it with X, Malcolm's transformation from a victim of systemic racism to a vocal critic of oppression is a testament to the human capacity for growth, resilience, and redemption.
His name is Bunch. His grandfather was owned by a white man that was named Bunch.
Would you mind telling me what your father's last name was?
My father didn't know his last name. My father got his last name from his grandfather, and his grandfather got it from his grandfather, who got it from the slave master. The real names of our people were destroyed during slavery.
Was there any line, any point in the genealogy of your family when you did have to use the last name? And if so, what was it?
The last name of my forefathers was taken from them when they were brought to America and made slaves. And then the name of the slave master was given, which we refused. We rejected that name today.
You mean you won't even tell me what your father's supposed last name was or gifted last name was?
I never acknowledged it whatsoever.
Let me ask you about the status of Elijah Muhammad. First of all, is he ill?
I spoke to him today. He's in better health than he has been. He's suffering from asthmatic bronchitis.
Is that why he didn't attend your rally last week?
The only reason that he didn't attend was his ill condition. And the weather here, especially on that particular day, was of such nature that it would have been almost insane for him to come.
Well, now, did you hold that meeting last Tuesday because it coincided with the general election, the primary election?
I think if you study the history of Mr. Muhammad's work and religious work in this country, we've had our convention on February the 26th every year for, I think, the past 33 years.
Well, now, while you don't care to discuss your former name or...
All right, while he's harping on names here, I want to jump over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse number 5. Is one shall say, I am Yahweh's or Yahuwah's or the Most High. I belong to the Most High. And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And another shall subscribe with his hand to Yahweh and surname himself by the name of Israel. So Brother Malcolm at this time was saying that he was unaware of what his actual name was, but in the scriptures it is written that our people would begin to progress back to the names as it is given to us in the scriptures. You got some brothers that are Benny Jacob or Benny Jacob, and then you have other brothers who are Benny, Yahweh, or Yahweh. And then you got some other brothers that are Benny, Yisrael, Yasha'al, Yasha'ala, and all of these are wildly appropriate for this people who have been separated from our heritage, come back to our heritage to serve our power in spirit and in truth, and take the name that was given to our ancestors and skipped generations, and here in these last days have been made aware to us again. And so you got brothers like myself. I am your brother Akazaki Yahu Beni Yehuda Yisrael, or Yasha'al, or some brothers will pronounce it Yasha'ala, because we are the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, the children of the people who were made into slaves. But that's not our end. That's just a piece of our existence. Our end is victory and triumph over our adversaries. And that's what we are awaiting. That's all I got. You got anything on that? Did I lose you? You fell asleep on me? It's all good. All right, let's get back to the video. Praises to the Abba. Told Rabbah for our dear brother Malcolm X, for his great words and his great teaching style. So let's get back to it here.
The names that the slave master gave to your antecedents. It is a matter of record that Muhammad's last name was Poole, Elijah Poole.
No, that's the name that his slave master gave to his grandfather or great-grandfather, but that's not his name.
Well, his mother and father thought when they called him Elijah Poole that was his name.
They didn't know any better.
Well, if they didn't know any better or not, they thought that was his name.
Yes, sir. But, sir,
what I'm trying to find out is, when did he cease to be Elijah Poole and get to be Elijah Muhammad?
In 1931, I think it was, in Detroit, he was taught the true history of our people and made aware at that time that he was wearing an English name. And by not being an Englishman, he looked out of place.
Malcolm X's fearless critique of racism, imperialism, and oppression exposed the dark underbelly of American society, forcing a nation to confront its own hypocrisy and injustices that had been perpetuated against Black people for centuries.
Now, I would even say that the name Muhammad on a so-called Negro, on an Israelite, is definitely and certainly out of place and does not belong to the children of Israel, because Muhammad would be a name of an Arab, not an Israelite. So that would be as equally out of place as Murphy or Henderson or Wesley. Any of these names, that would be completely out of place for a son of Israel, a son of Jacob, or a Beni Jacob. But let's continue.
But don't scare Negroes today with no badge or no white skin or no white sheet or no white anything else. The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a Black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give him? My brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this. And it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves. They attack the victim. And then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim
of attacking him.
Yes, sir.
This is American justice.
Yes, sir. That's right.
This is American democracy.
Yes, right.
And those of you who are familiar with it
yes,
know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy.
Right.
Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail.
Right.
But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me.
He would go all out, never hesitated with any words in his chest, his message resonating deeply with many, inspiring a new generation of activists and ordinary citizens to take action.
We declare our rank on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
We do not endorse Martin Luther King's philosophy of turn the other cheek. We don't turn the other cheek to anyone. And it should be made known that anytime these brothers are attacked, when they know they're in the right, those brothers have the right to retaliate to the fullest extent of their ability with the help of our God.
His message of self-love, self-defense, and self-determination empowered Black people to reclaim their identity, their confidence as a people, and their rights as humanity. Malcolm, in his earnest dedication, became popular.
He was teaching or speaking the words of Elijah Muhammad, but if you ever look at Elijah Muhammad's speeches, he was a weak, feeble man. His speeches were pretty lame. He was sickly, asthmatic, and he needed a speaker. Ergo, my father, charismatic, articulate, stunning, handsome.
He would excite women, in his, presentations. Some would even have orgasms right in the audience, but that they could see,
Right, just a minute
right
now.
And I guess Malcolm could see that too. That's the kind of charisma that he had. All right.
But when Malcolm started out at first, the dimension of his message was misunderstood and quite uncomfortable for most Blacks then, who were apparently unfamiliar with such words of liberation. Who knows what they expected to hear after so many intense years of suffering, shaping, and slavery?
I was in the civil rights organization, and the first time we heard Malcolm speak, everyone said racist.
The first time I went to the mosque, I almost peed in my pants. I was so scared. I said, the FBI, somebody's going to come in here and arrest all of these people.
And I said, I'm going to go up and say something to him. So I'm so short, I was able to get through the crowd. And I came through his bodyguards, and I tapped his back was to me, and I tapped him on the back. I said, Mr. X, I said, I don't agree with most of what you said, but I thank you for it. But there are some things that I agree with, but I didn't agree with most of the things that you said. And he looked at me with those amazing eyes that pierced your brain in such a way that you were startled by it, or pierced your eyes, pierced your heart. And he said, one day you will, my sister.
You heard of Malcolm X every day on the radio, on the television, in the newspaper. Because he had mastered using the media, Malcolm was able to articulate a view that says, we will not stand by quietly for apartheid and tyranny to be exercised upon our people.
Today, Malcolm X's impact can be seen in the Black Lives Matter movement, in the fight against police brutality, in the struggle for voting rights, and in the unapologetic celebration of Black excellence. His legacy extends far beyond the borders of the United States, inspiring liberation movements across the globe.
We're at the new Audubon Ballroom. This is the Audubon Ballroom after it was renovated. This is the place where he used to hold his meetings. And most times the meetings was on Sundays. At least be 500 to 600 people each time that Malcolm would come to speak. And the energy was really exciting, especially for us who were members of the OAU and Muslim Moms Incorporated at that point. And especially also when he brought people out like Mohammed Babu, who was the leader of the revolution, and Zanzibar.
Malcolm X's words remain a clarion call to action, a reminder that freedom is not a gift, but a right that must be fought for and defended. As we navigate the complexities of our modern world, we would do well to remember his wisdom.
Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Without education, you're not going anywhere in this world. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Let us continue to draw inspiration from Malcolm X's unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and human rights. Let us honor his legacy by staying vigilant, staying vocal, and staying committed to the fight for a world where all people can live with dignity and respect. That brings us to the end of yet another stimulating video.
All right, all praises to the Most High once again. Our dear brother Malcolm, man, this, you know, a lot of times we do videos and it highlights the historical context of our people, and it's infuriating, you know, and even with these two brothers, it can be infuriating, but, you know, these videos highlight the talking points of our brothers here, and what that does is it provokes, their words were able to provoke a sense of belonging, a sense of, dare I say, pride in blackness and so-called black, being a so-called black man, woman, or child. And it you know, Farrakhan in this context, you know, he spoke like royalty. You know what I'm saying? When he was talking about Tina Turner and that white man that she was dealing with, and whatever happened back then, I don't remember what happened back then, and not dealing with our daughters, our sisters, our women like that. You know, that was some royal speaks there, and that's something that's missing today, because these Negroes today will be happy to see a so-called black woman on all fours, you know, walking across a stage, presenting herself as an animal. But I'll tell you, so-called black woman, you got brothers out here that don't want to see that. You got brothers out here that care about your welfare, that care about your well-being, that care about you not only being a woman representing this nation of set apart people, but also being a wife in a home, preparing a lesson for the children, doing wonderful things while you're wearing the name of a king. That king being your husband, your ish, and he's serving the Most High Bashem Hamashiach with spirit and heart and truth,
God.
and that being his mode of operation, his MO, and everything that he's doing. So know that that is the case for our people here. And even though Brother Malcolm is gone, Brother Louis, Minister Louis Farrakhan is 91 years old and should be, you know, sitting with his feet up, enjoying the fruits of his labor. You got brothers now who will teach on the street in the corners, even though the so-called president said he's going to get rid of the ministers of doom. Bring it on. Because brothers are not, you know what I'm saying? We got the Most High Yah with us and for us. Bashem, whether you pronounce his name, Yahawashai, Yehoshua, Yahushua, whatever it is, whatever you pronounce his name as, just don't call him that JC foolishness, or whatever you pronounce his name as, just know that we're not afraid. We're not afraid. We're not worried about your armies coming against us and your police force and your FBIs and your CIAs and all this other foolishness. None of that can stand against the power of Yahweh, the power of Yahuwah, Bashem, Yehoshua Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. We have no fear of anything that you can bring at us, not Homeland Security, not any of that foolishness, because we know who we serve. We know who we serve, and our power has promised us deliverance. And so we have no fear, zero fear for anything that you would bring against the children of Israel, the nation of righteousness back in the earth. So you can call us the ministers of doom. You can call us the whatever you want to call us. What you better call us is the men and women of the Most High power of Israel. And I'm gonna rest there. Go ahead, Aki.
God, beautifully stated. Beautifully stated. Yeah, there's, I recall in scripture, Daniel, I believe, chapter 3, and well, it's somewhere in there, and I know that it speaks about the three Hebrew boys, and them going into the fire and not being afraid, standing up, for their power, not kneeling to idolatry, righteousness that you spoke of. And it's that hour, where we have to put on courage. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and some of our people might be dismayed or worried, but we're here to encourage you. It's going to be something truly wonderful to witness. The Most High showing up for His people, and we can read in Scripture what has happened countless times. And but speaking about Brother Malcolm, we've covered his videos quite often. I spoke about how Honorable Minister Farrakhan loved his people. Brother Malcolm did as well. And it's almost like a mistake that he made was putting his trust in the wrong people. But I said this before, it would have truly been something to see him what would have happened. But the Most High is in control of all things, and he served his purpose. He was he was a vessel. He was a vessel that the Most High used for his purpose. And then when it was, and that's like me or you, it's the way it goes. And we're not complaining about that. The Most High knows best. The Most High knows what we need before we even mention it. And I want to encourage all of the listeners, of those who might listen, 2025 in the Gregorian calendar year, that we're not afraid, and that we're going to patiently wait on the return of our kinsman redeemer.
Yes,
and we're going to put forth righteousness. We're going to continue to keep the commandments and have the faith in Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Yes,
Wamalak.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praises to the Most High. We hope that you have enjoyed this video review. And once again, shout out to the brothers of Black Journals, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting this together, putting these videos together, allowing us to get to it. Shout out to our listeners. Thank you for the comments. Sister, forgive me if I messed this name up. This is Annie Anna. Shalom, shalom. We actually keep our Shabbat in the morning. So when the sun come up, that's when the Shabbat starts for us. Shout out to Tiffany of let me see, Healthy Passion for Life. Healthy Passion for Life. Drop a link in there or something. Let's see. The people may want to know about Healthy Passion for Life. That sounds like something Akazaki Yahoo need to be interested in. She said Malcolm is still that dude. Brother Malcolm, boy. Hey, but you know what? When you got that calling on you is when centuries, not centuries, but decades after you done passed away. You know what I'm saying? The generations who never saw you know your name. You know what I'm saying? People who never came to see you, people who never, you know what I'm saying? They know your name. So that's some dynamic work. You know what I'm saying? That's telling you that you did some work in this earth. And praises to the Most High, because the Most High was using that brother. You know what I'm saying? Generations later. And all praises. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Coach. My sister, my dear sister. If I'm pronouncing the name incorrect, please forgive me. Anna Ya Aunt Yana. Yana. Anna Yana.
Anya La. Hold on. We got this. As much. Hold on. Anyana.
Anyana. Okay. Anyana. Anyana. Okay. That sounds right. That sounds right.
Kind
All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for paying attention. And thank you for the kind words. We certainly appreciate you. All praises to the Most High. You all have a wonderful rest of the evening. We're going to close out. Once again, shout out to our elders, our dear. Oh, by the way, if Brother Malcolm was still alive here today, he would be 99 years old. And he would be on his next birthday, 100 years old, if he was still alive here today. Imagine that. Imagine almost 100-year-old Brother Malcolm X, living and thriving in this society right here now. How different would things look if that was the case? Because how many women would dress in horrible garments if Brother Malcolm could see them? You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put Malcolm on the level of Mashiach or anything like that. But understand that we're talking about Malcolm here in 2025. And if Malcolm was still alive, we'd be talking about Malcolm here in 2025. Because we're talking about Farrakhan here in 2025, and Farrakhan is still alive. And you heard what Farrakhan said about Tina Turner. Don't do that. Don't do that to your people. Don't let Mick Jagger do that to you in front of your people. Have more respect for yourself and your people than that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a beautiful thing. So all praises to the Most High. We're gonna go ahead and shut it on down. As always, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we show up here on Yom Shishi evening and have these conversations, review videos, and do these things that we do? I tell you why we do it. The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Ha'abba, to the Father, for Israel is that they might be saved. We want to see our people saved. We want to see Israel get to the other side. We don't want to see you're not coming into the land. We want to see us get to the other side. Now, how do we do that? First of all, we keep the faith, the belief, the patience in Hamashiach, because we know that we're going to get salvation when Hamashiach comes. But also, we have to, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important for us to understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared. I guarantee you, brothers and sisters, we will be judged on whether we have feared the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man. I am Ya'akazaki Yahu, given all, joined by my most, Salakia, forgive me. I didn't mean to jump the gun like that. Joined by my most esteemed Kenaniah, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Yahweh, however you choose to pronounce it. It's the Yod, the Hey, the Y, and the Hey, however you choose to say it. It is the Most High Power of Israel. Bashem, Yehoshua, Yahushua, the Messiah, Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth, I'm going to say Shalom, Wa, Baruchim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day when the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. Until that day come, shalom, family.
Shalom, Mishpachah.
All praises to the Most High power. Praise you, Abba Yah. Can I get a Kwam Yasha'al?
Kwam Yasharallah.
Yes, indeed. Barak Hashem Yahweh. Hallelujah. Praise you, Abba Yah.